Guys, this is going to be like HubMotor 101. This is for people who have never opened their HubMotor. This is basically what it looks like. This is your stator. There's each one of them, it's broken up into poles. This is your fill or your copper. And usually each pole has got about 6 strands or 9 strands with 3 or 4 turns per pole. How it usually works, since this is a 3-phase, it's not one phase all the way around. It's about one phase will, if I can explain this, one phase will start here and go over to about 5 poles and then jump another 5 poles and so on all the way around. And then, they're all staggered basically. This one hasn't been touched, as you can see. It's got the original glue on it. If you wanted to run more volts, you want to put thicker wire through it. To do that, you would take a drill and drill out the hole, cut the wires, pull through, drill out this hole a little bit bigger, and then you can actually take a drill bit and ream the axle and make it a little bit wider so you can get more thicker wire through. That's one way to do it. Another mod is your Delta Star. This is where all three phases run through, and then they're tied together right here. So what you do is you basically just unravel that, and you should end up, when you unravel it, it looks like this. What I like to do, most people, what they do is they either put the relays in the stator itself, or they run them through here, which is a pain, especially in a 9C, because this axle is so small to begin with. What I like to do is take a sharp metal drill bit and put this in a vise. And if you got a steady hand, you can drill a hole all the way through without damaging the hub motor. And then you just basically do what you did here. You just basically drill a hole until you hit the hole that you drilled this way, and then you can run your dual phase wires out. It's much easier to do this way. That's what I do. That's one mod I've done, and it works great. Some people go, well, it'd be great if you could, delaminate it and everything else and put thicker gauge wire in it. Well, it's not that easy. I mean, you're still stuck doing strands because you got to get this copper through the slots. And the way they do it, usually when they first set a hub motor up, let's just pull this out here. This is a piece of bamboo. These are worth saving, by the way, if you're into rebuilding hub motors. You got this plastic here, and originally this plastic would be like this tall, and it's flared out, so they can sit here and they can tuck it in real quick, and then when they're done, they just cut it and then they just tuck it in and stick the bamboo in there. What the bamboo does is it keeps the windings from working their way through the slot, because once they get past the slot and hit the magnets, the motor's toast, right? So it's a good thing to do. Some things to look for when you've got a motor that's got a lot of noise. It sounds like something's hitting. Look for the stator if it's got damage like that. You see this has got a little bit of a sort of come apart there a little bit, or like that. You'll see certain spots where it looks like it's rubbing. Like this one was rubbing a little bit at one time. Make sure all your magnets are clean, because they do rust up. And check these bamboo pieces, because sometimes they get loose, they dry up and get loose, and they'll come out and sit like that, and they'll rub inside the motor. So that's good to check for that. Other things like motor damage. Sometimes you'll have, if you're overvolting, one phase will go bad. If you have like a single pole that goes black, that usually means that there's a short. One way to check that is basically put a multimeter on your one phase and then touch it to your stator and see if there's a dead short. If you got like all along the hub motor, if you have like maybe 5 poles that are black or darker than the rest all the way around, it usually means your motor's shot, because your whole phase is gone. as you can see, this one is actually pretty good. The reason I don't use it is because it's the rear and the front. But, I figured I'd go over that. Rambling, I guess, but if it helps anybody out, that's great. There's not, I mean, the next mod I'm going to be doing that I don't think anybody's done yet is one thing I have checked with my fan setup that I have is in the summertime I found when the fans were off to save on my battery. When I stuck my finger in the slot of the motor and touched it on the side of the stator here, it was like super hot. So what I want to do is open my wheel, which I'll probably get to shortly. I want to put a thermal diode right on here to the fans. This way I can leave the fans powered up, and the fans will only kick in when the motor heats up. That's what I want. They stay on until they heat up and then they shut off. And the one I have turns on as soon as it starts to get warm, so it's perfect. So that's probably something I want to get into. I want to pull mine apart anyway because it's been through hell. I went through a few rainstorms. Thank God that the fans were working at the time, but it's an open motor case, so it should be interesting to see the rust that's in it. But anyway, I figured I'd share that with you guys. This is for anybody who doesn't know anything about these motors. I'm not going to get into details of how to unravel it and everything else. You can figure that out. I've already showed you how to partially take it apart, so the rest is just cutting and pulling. Later, guys.